Hey everyone, this is Rumblestoolskin, and if you're like me, you're excited about the PlayStation 4. So that's exactly what I'm here to talk about, is the PlayStation 4. So let's get into it. Sony officially announced it today. I just got done watching the press conference, and there was a lot of information in there, a lot to digest. But I'm going to bring you the highlights, bring you kind of what I think you might want to hear about the most, and we'll get into it. So the name is officially PlayStation 4. No more PlayStation Orbis, no more speculation about that. It is PlayStation 4. They're sticking with tradition. They're slapping a 4 on the end of it. So we're looking forward to the PlayStation 4 now. So some of the hardware, you guys are probably interested about the hardware. 8 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and that's significant. The Xbox 720 was rumored to have 8 gigabytes of like DDR3, and people are only thinking that the PlayStation 4 would have 4 gigabytes of RAM. So it does look like they are bumping that up to 8 gigabytes. Looks like they're going with an 8-core processor capable of 2 teraflops or whatever number crunching capability. They did show a few live demos of the just running on the processor chip. I believe it's an APU. I'll still have to look into that. APU is a new technology, and I am not fully familiar with it yet, but they showed a few tech demos, and they dropped like 2 million of these little blue balls over like some scenery, and they all bounced around and stuff. I mean, it looked pretty cool, but we want to see the graphics of the actual games. But this is a powerful system. They are catering more towards developers, which is good for us. The developers are the ones making the games, and if it's hard for them to make a game, they're not going to want to make it. They're in it to make money, make games, and it needs to be catered to them a little bit, and that in the end is better for us. We get better games out of it. So with this new streaming service that Sony bought, I think it was like last year, Sony paid like $300 million for this streaming service. It starts with a G. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but it looks like with the new interface of the PlayStation 4, you can hop onto the streaming service, you can browse through games, and you hit X, and you can start playing that game immediately, is what they made it sound like. They were talking about the time it takes to boot up your PlayStation and all that, waiting. That's a thing of the past. It's an always-on type thing. You go onto the streaming service, you push X, and you start playing the game, and then it sounded like you could try all the games. I don't know if they just have a time limit or something, but they said you only pay for the games that you love and that you fall in love with and you want to play. So we'll see how that works. That sounds pretty interesting to me. It does not look like it'll be backwards compatible. A lot of people were speculating on that. It's not backwards compatible. They said it doesn't natively support PS3 games, and I'm betting that's from a hardware standpoint. PS3 games were made for the cell processor, and with new processors, I'm sure that you can't just pop in an old disc and be on your way, but I can almost guarantee that you will be able to stream or download all of the old games. It sounded like, the full catalog would be up there. That would be an ambitious project, but I don't know. So another thing is we did not actually see any physical console. They didn't show us any pictures of the console itself. They did make a few jabs. I think at Xbox, they're like, we didn't just create a box. They threw in their little punchlines in there every once in a while. But what we did see was the new controller, and I'm pretty excited about that. It's the DualShock 4. That's the name of it. It's got that iconic PlayStation look. They didn't change it too much. They did put a touchpad on the front, so that's pretty neat. There is a share button. You can download or at least record a clip and upload it instantly to a website and share your game. There is a headphone jack, so that looks like it'll be more like how 360 is. You plug your headset into the controller itself, and that probably opens up the capability to talk with people across different games. So that looks pretty sweet. There also is like a PlayStation Move type sensor bar on it that is monitoring the location of the controller in real time in 3D space. That could be interesting. I'm not quite sure how that works. This also works with like a more advanced PlayStation Eye type thing where you can. It's kind of almost creepy. You can, you know, your PlayStation's watching you play games, and when you're on your in the XMB or whatever, that's going to be changed now. It's kind of like it is a social website type thing where you can watch what other people are playing, and you can jump in with them mid-game, hop in a game with them, and help them beat the final boss or something like that. At least that's the vision of the PlayStation 4 that they have. They kept saying vision because they had nothing to really physically show. But they did get into a lot of the games. It sounded like these games would be releasing with the PlayStation 4. The new Killzone game, we're all excited about that. That's a good game. It's not called Killzone 4, which is a little surprising. It's called Killzone Shadow Fall. They showed a demo of them actually playing the game in real time, I think, and it looked pretty impressive. A new racing game came out, or is coming out, for PlayStation 4 from the creators of MotorStorm, that game franchise. That was pretty fun. It's called Drive Club, and that looked pretty. The graphics on that look pretty slick, so I'm excited for that. I like racing games. A new game coming out from Sucker Punch, infamous Second Son. That looked like a pretty good game. And then the rest of the press conference, they kind of talked to, or had developers come up and kind of just talk about how great it is working with the PlayStation 4, and they kind of were just building up hype. They didn't really show a whole lot, but they did do a character model demonstration of a character model that has 30,000 polygons, and I don't know if you know, but when they create 3D models, you can't. It's hard to create a curved surface. It's kind of broken down into a triangulated surface, a bunch of million little triangles, or 30,000 triangles that create a character, and they showed this old man's face and how lifelike it looked, and that looked pretty sweet. But yeah, a lot of interesting things coming up, and the biggest question is, how much is this going to cost? They didn't say. And when's it coming out? It's coming out holiday 2013. So that's about all I have. More information will be coming out, I'm sure, now that Sony can freely talk about it. But thanks for checking the video out. I hope you guys found some of it interesting. I hope you guys are excited as I am about this, and we'll look forward to the PlayStation 4. I'm stoked. So, oh, and one more thing, guys. My channel is coming up on 100 subscribers, and that's a big milestone for me. So I just want to take these last few seconds of this game to, thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun making these videos for you, and I hope you enjoy them, and I'll keep making them. So have a good day.
Kill confirmed. I've got you. Shot.
Counter UAV inbound. Objective parameters obtained. Well done.
Enemy down. I've got you. He's done.